What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Evan and I make videos about hot stocks, dividends, and options. So if that interests you guys, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Now, if you guys have been paying attention to the market today, you know NIO really spiked up. They're actually up 19% and they hit a new high of 26.39. which is pretty crazy. So we're going to go over exactly why they spiked so much and what they could potentially hit in the near future in terms of their share price. But taking a look at the 1 week chart, you can see they're up 16% on the week. And look at that huge spike. NIO spiked from 21.62 at close yesterday all the way up to 25.53 shortly after the market opened this morning. So this is pretty huge for NIO, and there's actually price predictions that NIO could almost double in price in the near future. So now this is exactly why NIO went up so much today. JP Morgan actually set a new price point for NIO, and one of the analysts specifically, Nick Lau, I believe that's how you pronounce his last name, but he upgraded NIO from a hold to a buy, and then he also took his price target from $14 all the way up to $40. So the reason why it says double is because this is double NIO's price that they've had as an average price over the past month. And it's nearly double where NIO was at trading before this bullish call that was made. So like I showed you on the chart, they actually jumped up 15.2% during market open and they went up to 24.85. But this analyst, Nick Lau, actually thinks that Chinese EV penetration is going to be 4 times higher by 2025. And if you don't understand what this means, it basically means that 20% of all new cars sold in China would be battery powered and electric vehicles. So just for the overall electric vehicle market, this is great news because all of these newer EV companies are going to benefit, including NIO, obviously, Li Auto, XPeng, and a couple others that are smaller and maybe haven't IPO'd yet. But also take into consideration that China is the largest market in the world for new vehicles. They have over 1.4 billion people in China. And so if you take an electric vehicle company and put it in a country with the most amount of people out of any country, and on top of that, NIO has government support, and the Chinese government is pushing plans to make EV vehicles the vehicles of the future and the present. They want to cut down on emissions, and the only solution to that is to produce more electric vehicles. And like I've mentioned before, I wouldn't be surprised if different governments started implementing new laws and regulations to restrict vehicles that put out too many emissions. And I wouldn't be surprised if in the future there was laws and regulations cutting everything down to 0 emissions. And I'm not the only one that thinks NIO is a great buy right now, because obviously there's a lot of investors investing in NIO right now. And also these analysts, they all seem like they're all in on Chinese electric vehicle startups. Almost all these EV companies, including NIO, XPeng, and Li Auto, recently they've all been upgraded from either a hold to a buy or from a sell to a hold. And almost 60% of analysts covering NIO rate them as a buy. And if you compare this to the average buy rating ratio for stocks in the Dow Jones, that's about 58%, and NIO is at 60%. And XPeng also has 3 analysts and 3 buy ratings. So all these analysts are predicting something good for these EV companies over in China. So the only thing right now that maybe makes some investors hesitant about NIO's share price is their current valuation compared to other automakers like traditional automakers. So right now, Chinese EV makers aren't profitable and they trade for roughly 4 times their 2022 estimates for sales. So this might sound bad, but if you actually compare this to Tesla is actually trading at 7 times their 2022 sales estimate. And I know there's a lot of bears on Tesla, and there always has been. People think Tesla has always been overvalued, and I wouldn't really argue against that. I think they are overvalued, but I don't think they're going to pull back anytime soon. The same thing has happened with Amazon since the early 2000s. People have always thought Amazon's been overvalued, but they just continue going up. So stocks and share prices don't always make sense. If you've been investing in any stock for any amount of time, you probably know that. So from a valuation standpoint, NIO could be considered overvalued right now, but in the long term, especially in the next 12 months, they have price estimates anywhere from $40 up to around $150. And I especially think by the end of the year they could hit $40, especially once they release Q4 sales. And if they report higher sales and deliveries for each month leading up to the end of the year. But if we actually go back to comparing NIO to Tesla, Tesla is one of the EV stocks that analysts don't really like. There's only about 20% of the 37 analysts covering Tesla that rate them at a buy. So 1/5 of the analysts are rating Tesla a buy. And the average price target for Tesla shares is about $310. And Tesla right now is almost at $460 per share. So the price target is drastically under what Tesla is currently trading for, but there hasn't been many pullbacks even though there's these price predictions well below their share price. So that again kind of proves my point that stocks don't always make sense. They're going to be worth what people are willing to pay in the market. But because there's so many people bullish on Tesla, you're not going to see the price pull back unless it really gets some momentum pulling back. Then it could continue pulling back quite a bit. But the same thing for NIO shares. As long as there's enough investors interested in NIO and investing in NIO, there shouldn't be drastic pullbacks, maybe to previous support lines. Like realistically looking at past charts, NIO could pull back to that $21 range, and I think it's very possible. But if they can stay above this $24 or $25 range and use that as support, then they should continue going up, theoretically. But again, that doesn't always happen. And like I said, I could see them pulling back to $21. And maybe if you think they're slightly overvalued right now, you could possibly wait and see if they pull back to that $21 range again. But long term, I think NIO is worth way beyond this $25 range. And even though NIO is up more than 500% year to date, they are actually edging out Tesla's stock gains. I think they have a lot more growth to go in the future because they're still such a young company right now. They've only been around for 6 years and they've only been publicly traded since September of 2018. And there was actually comparisons comparing NIO to Tesla in 2013, and the charts look very similar. And the comparison of NIO to 2013 Tesla, it's almost identical. So from that comparison, it seems as though NIO could be on a similar path to Tesla. But that also depends on how many people would invest in NIO long term, because many US investors don't really invest in companies that are outside the US. So that's something to keep an eye out for in the future. And I'm sort of worried that too many investors are just hopping into NIO for short-term gains, when I'm looking at NIO as more of a long-term play. I think if you're investing in NIO, whether you want to buy in now or if you want them to pull back, I think the best strategy would just be to dollar cost average in. Just set aside a certain amount of money each month or each week and just invest that set amount of money. And then you'll be buying the average price of NIO, whether they go up or down. So again, looking at the share price, they're up 20% today, which is huge gains. So with this big spike, I could see NIO pulling back. Like I mentioned, they could pull back around that $21 to $22 range. But if they can stay above this $25 area, potentially that could turn into support. So let's just hope that can happen, because then they can use that $25 support and continue going upwards and continue this uptrend. And again, I think NIO by the end of the year should be worth around $40. And I think there's a lot of people looking at the share price and following the trends, and they would agree with this $35 to $40 price point that I'm somewhat predicting. Now, you can't always predict a share price, but that's sort of my estimate based on their growth and the news that they've been releasing, as well as going into fourth quarter. So you have to take into account fourth quarter deliveries, and those could be priced in already, but I don't really think so, just because when they've come out with good delivery numbers in the past few months, we've seen the price go up a bit. And then also the 150,000 deliveries per year by early 2021, and that equates to about 12,500 vehicles per month. That's going to be huge for NIO and their share price going forward as well. And then also, like I mentioned yesterday, NIO Day is January 9th of 2021, and they're actually officially releasing a new vehicle on NIO Day, and they'll give a lot of details about this new vehicle on NIO Day as well. So there's a lot of things, especially in the next 6 to 12 months, that should really help boost NIO's share price. So even if they pull back a little bit, and you were to buy in at this $25 area, I don't think you should really be worried, because long term, NIO should go up well beyond this $25 range. So these are just kind of my thoughts and what I think is going to happen with NIO. But I kind of want to hear what you guys think about NIO down in the comments. Do you think this is just a spike and they're going to pull back down to 21 or maybe even less than that? Or do you think they're going to use $25 as support and go up from here? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Also, for those of you who haven't signed up for Webull, make sure you sign up using the link in the description. You'll get 2 free stocks, both worth between $8 and $1,600. So you're guaranteed $16 just by signing up and depositing $100. And honestly, you guys don't even have to use my link if you don't want to. If you have a friend that you want to use their link, go ahead. But just make sure you guys get your free stocks before this promotion ends at the end of the month. I would hate to see you guys lose out on free money, basically. Also, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the like button because it really does help out the channel. And with that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you back here in the next one. Bye.